Swamin namaste natalokabandho karunya sindho patitam bhavabdhau mamuddharatmiya kataksha drishtya rizvyati karunya sudhabhivristya. Swamin namaste, Swamin namaste, Swamin namaste, Swamin namaste. Jnanasvarupam nijabhavayuktam anandamanandakaram prasannam Yogindramidhyam bhavarogavidyam Srimadgurum nityamaham namami Srimadgurum nityamaham namami Nityaya satyaya chidatmakaya Navyaya bhavyaya paratparaya Shuddhaya buddhaya niranjanaya Namostu nityam gurushekaraya Namostu nityam Guru Shekharaya Namostu Nityam Guru Shekharaya. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. So we started with this Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandhamokshayoho bandhaya vishayasaktam muktyai nirvishayam smritam. That is why I was discussing with you, I said that I would discuss with you a small chapter in Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sara Sangraha, which talks about Chitta Prasadaha, the placidity of the mind. And we all know, being seekers of truth, being seekers of self-knowledge, that only when the mind is placid, tranquil, calm, the self, which is our real identity, it gets revealed. Otherwise it is like a mirror, polished mirror, where we can see the reflection of our face very clearly. If we smear that mirror with dust, then what will happen? We will not be able to see our face as clearly, or maybe we will not be able to see at all. So, mind is like that. When the mind is clear, transparent, and what does it mean by saying mind is clear and transparent? When the mind has no agitation, mind is absolutely restful. At that time, the self gets reflected by itself, and one is able to experience it. Otherwise, as it always happens with us, the mind is always disturbed, mostly agitated, mostly anxious. So, although our identity is the self, which is changeless, which is unaffected, we are not able to reveal or understand the self. And with a mistaken identity, by mistakenly identifying with our body, mind and intelligence, we always feel that we are undergoing various sufferings, afflictions. Sometimes we feel that I am having lot of happiness or I am having lot of unhappiness. Sometimes we feel that I am successful. Somebody will feel that, oh, I am a failure. So all these feelings which are changeful, comes into us, and we feel that I am changeful, although our real identity is changeless. This we have been discussing. And now we must understand what should be our daily life so that we are proceeding towards that chitta prasadaha or mana prasadaha, the restfulness of our mind. So I started with this Amrita Bindu Upanishad. I took 2 slokas. Manaiva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho bandhaya vishayasaktam muktyai nirvishayam smritam. So it says that for human beings, the bondage and liberation, what is bondage and what is liberation? The mind feels bound. It doesn't feel free. Or this bondage is the shackles of the mind and intelligence which keeps it bound. It does not make it feel free and constantly makes it feel that it is suffering. Suffering from happiness, suffering from unhappiness, suffering for very other traits. So, it says that mind itself brings about the bondage and mind itself brings about the liberation. And how? It has explained, bandhaya vishayasaktam. The mind goes behind the sense objects, sense organs. And what do the sense organs do? They go behind their respective objects. The 5 sense organs go behind their respective organs. And the mind also goes behind them. And naturally when it goes, what happens? One desires to have them, desires many things. So, because of that desire, one gets bound. One is not able to feel free. Suppose whatever one desires, one does not get, then what will happen? One will be either angry or disappointed, frustrated. And suppose one gets it also, as we all know, one still, after a little period of happiness, one becomes anxious that I should not lose it. So in both cases, the mind is disturbed and agitated. So that is why it says that when the mind becomes attached to the objects, then it is bound. And when the mind is not attached to the objects, freed from the objects, it leads to liberation. Now, we know that in our day-to-day life, we are always in the midst of objects. Although the self is the witness, and everything else, including the body, mind, intelligence, the whole world is witnessed. We are the witness, we are the drashta, we are the observer. And in that observer, that witness, there is no change. It is a changeless Atma. And we are observing or witnessing everything else. So, in our day-to-day life, we are actually interacting with so many objects. So many objects, and mentally with many viewpoints, many ideas, many decisions. So all these come as objects. So it says that Muktyai nirvishayam smritam. So are we able to be nirvishayam? If in the wakeful hours we are always surrounded by objects. So what does it mean? See, if we go back to Bhagavad Gita, we will find that in 2nd chapter, Arjuna is being told by Krishna that first he says how the mind, when it starts thinking about objects, it gets into attachment. It develops attachment to the objects. And then what all happens, I think all of you know, I did not repeat it. And it says that from the attachment, then there will be desire. From the desire there will be anger. And from anger there will be sammoha. From sammoha there will be smriti vibhramaha. And then from smriti vibhrama, smriti bhramshat buddhinasho. Buddhinashat pranashyati. This is 2nd chapter 62 and 63. So this is the cycle. So if we allow the mind to go behind the sense organs which are going towards the object and we desire, then what happens is ultimately we are lost. All our viveka buddhi will be lost and we will completely forget our real self, and either we will be victim of anger or delusion and all that. So that will bring about what? Bring about restlessness of the mind, disturbance in the mind. And if you are seekers of truth, that disturbance, it's not at all good for our pursuit. So we have to understand, then what should we do? We are seeing the objects, then how not to get attached to them? Muktiyai nirvishayam smritam. How the mind can become nirvishaya. So Krishna is telling Arjuna that, Arjuna, your mind will become placid. It will have this quality of prasadam, tranquility or placidity, if remaining in the midst of all kinds of objects which actually cultivate or bring about desires in you. If you remain there, but you are having self-control, that is, your senses are under your control, your mind is under your control, and also you are free from raga and dvesha, that is attraction and repulsion, then you will find that the mind is having prasadam. Ragadvesha viyuktaistu, this is 64 of 2nd chapter, Bhagavad Gita. Ragadvesha viyuktaistu vishayan indriyaischaran atmavashyair vidheyatma prasadam adhigacchati. Now, be in the midst of vishayas, be in the midst of objects and deal with them, no problem. But do not get attached or repelled. What happens is that either we get attached and immediately we desire to acquire that, or we get repelled. Whatever we do not like, we do not desire it. So desire is of two kinds. One is desiring what we like and desiring not to face what we dislike. Both are desires. So Krishna is saying that do not have raga and dvesha. Do not have attraction or repulsion for anything. Let the mind be in samabhava. And how can you do that? Your senses should be restrained. The mind should be restrained. Then the question will come, how do you make the senses and mind restrained? That is a different thing. That we'll have to see. That becomes a pursuit, a discipline. So for any seeker, disciplines are necessary. And last session we saw that we were discussing, in that discipline, what is being told to us is that Rajo Guna and Tamo Guna, they actually disturb the mind. So try to be victorious over Rajo Guna and Tamo Guna and try to cultivate and enhance sattvic qualities. This we did last time. So now in this shloka also Krishna is saying that it's not that nirvishayam means you won't have anything, any object in your front. Then how will you know whether you are really having restraint of your mind or restraint of your senses? If nothing is there, to what will you get attracted? When you are in the midst of various things, plurality, some you like, some you dislike, but your mind is so much restrained that you neither have raga, that liking, nor you have dvesha, repulsion, and you are also able to control your mind. You have self-restraint. In that case, Krishna is saying, prasadam adhigacchati. You'll have placidity of the mind. Definitely, if you understand this shloka very well, what brings about disturbance in our mind? Our likes and dislikes. Constantly throughout the day, as we get up in the morning till we go to sleep, our mind goes through various moods, various tendencies, only on the basis of two things, likes and dislikes. Things we like and things we dislike. If we like, we are very happy. We sometimes are very elated. Sometimes we do not apply our buddhi, whether we should be so elated or not. And if we do not like, then definitely we are frustrated, we are angry, we are complaintful, we grumble, we get depressed, all these things happen. So naturally, when these disturbances or distractions or agitations are not there, mind will have prasadam. Prasadam. In the next sloka, what Krishna says is, Prasade sarvadukkhanam hanirasyopajayate prasanna chetaso hyashu buddhi paryavatishtate. So Arjuna is being told, so Arjuna's buddhi has become, though he is a great warrior, he is very intelligent. Now, standing in the midst of the war, just before they are starting the war, seeing all the swajanas, the relatives, especially the grandfather and the teacher, Drona, his guru, and all his cousins and friends and all other known people, he suddenly has been overpowered by delusion, and mind is full of what? Dvesha, that is repulsion towards the battle that he has come to fight. So prasade sarva dukkhanam, Arjuna needs this. In the midst of this battlefield, how will he be atma vashyahi and vidheyatma? How will he restrain his senses, his mind, and will also be above the raga and dvesha, raga dvesha viktaihi? How will he become so that his mind remains calm and tranquil and he is able to do what he has come for? And what is the effect of that prasada? Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopajayate. When such placidity of the mind is there, then all the sorrows dissolve. Definitely, sorrow and placidity, they are poles apart. If one has sorrow, there will not be placidity. All of us, I think sometime or other, many times, we have felt what is placidity. And even if that moment has passed off, we can think about it. The placid moments do come to us, but it doesn't stay with us. We get distracted again, disturbed again. Now we want something which is permanent. We want that placidity of mind, which even though the situations in front will bring about raga and dvesha, opposites, the placidity will not get disturbed. It will remain. We will be able to be steadily fixed in that placidity. And prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopajayate. All the dukkhas, all the sorrows will be dissolved when the mind is placid. Prasanna chetaso hyashu buddhi paryavatishtate. And a person whose mind is prasanna chetasaha, a person whose mind is prasanna, placid, what happens to him? Buddhi paryavatishtate. Ashu is immediately. His buddhi, when the mind becomes prasanna, his buddhi becomes poised and steady. So when the buddhi becomes poised and steady, the buddhi is able to think. Think with what? With viveka buddhi. What can he think? He can understand what is right and what is wrong. What is good, what is bad. What one should decide and what one should not decide. So buddhi is able to be working in a very, very clear manner. Clarity comes, sharpness comes. So this buddhi becomes very stable and placid. The mind's placidity has the quality of making the intelligence stable and poised. So I wanted to deal with these two slokas because our life is not that we won't be in the midst of objects. Our mind is in the midst of objects. In the midst of objects, how do we train our mind, discipline our mind so that we get this placidity of mind? So, it says that mind is the reason. And also it said, I come back to Amrita Bindu, Manohi dvividham proktam shuddham cha shuddham eva cha ashuddham kama sankalpam shuddham kama vivarjitam. And the mind is pure and impure. So the first sloka was this objects and no objects. And then it says, how does the mind become pure? And how does the mind becomes impure? The pure mind, in the pure mind, the self reveals itself. The pure mind is what is placid, tranquil, peaceful. There is no disturbance. There is no impurity. Like this example of the mirror, when we smear it with dust, dust is the impurity to the mirror. That is why we are not able to see our face clearly. And another example, say there is a vessel of water, very clean, pure, transparent water, where we have put some object inside, say a stone. We can see the stone clearly. We can see our face clearly if we look into the water. But suppose we give a little motion to the water, what will happen? There will be some ripples in that water. Our face will not be steady and clear. Similarly, the stone also will not be looking as it should. The figure will get disturbed. Suppose we put some mud into the water, definitely there will not be reflections, will not be clear. So when we add purity to what is transparent, then what will happen? It will not give us the clear picture of the objects which we are seeing. Similarly, here, the mind is supposed to be pure, but it is constantly disturbed by our thoughts and tendencies. Why it is disturbed? Because of desires. So the mind becomes impure with the desires, and the desires constantly bring about thoughts and make it move up and down. So mind is constantly having ripples of desires, high and low. So naturally the self is not revealed. Even though the self is there, it is not revealed. Self is the real identity. It is, I am the self. So, ashuddham kama sankalpam, shuddham kama vivarjitam. So impure mind is when it is full of desire, and the pure mind is when there is no desire. And it also said that bondage and liberation is caused by the mind. It is from Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sara Sangraha. Then bondage and liberation is caused by the mind. In Amrita Bindu also it said, in all Shastras they will say this only, that the mind is the cause. Nothing is the cause. The bondage, and we say in our life, we feel that objects are cause, people are cause, the situations are causes. It is our own mind. How we look at things, how we look at the situations, whether we will feel bound or not, depends on our mind. So it says that the pure mind results in liberation and impure mind produces bondage. That is, the Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sara Sangraha also, it says the same thing. Bandhascha moksho manasaiva pumsam arthopyanarthopya munaiva siddhyati shuddhena moksho malinena bandho vivekatorthopya vivekatonyah. Now here we get one new word, one new sentence. We have seen in Amrita Bindu Upanishad that it is saying that mind is the cause, and pure mind is which does not have any desire, and impure mind which has desire. In this 359 sloka of Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sara Sangraha is also saying the same thing. But it also adds that with viveka, you will be able to understand when your mind is becoming pure and when it is becoming impure. That with viveka, you will be able to discriminate when the mind is becoming impure and when the mind is becoming pure. So, what we understand, one further point is that our buddhi should be such, so clear, that it is having the viveka, the discrimination very clear. And we should be able to understand when we are becoming the victim of impurity of the mind. What is causing the impurity? What causes the impurity? So, it says that I'm just repeating, in Viveka Chudamani, sloka number 174, it says, the bondage comes to the mind because of the influence of the effects of Rajo Guna and Tamo Guna. We know that in this nature, everything, all actions, everything is the mixture of three gunas, Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna and Tamo Guna. And this is saying that, or the Shastras are saying that yes, impure mind is bondage, pure mind is liberation. And what is impure mind? When there are desires in the mind, that is impure. Okay, how do you understand that you have desire? Or how do you even understand what is to be done to make the mind desire free? First of all, we have to catch our mind that it has got some impurity. If we are not attentive and we are not able to catch it, naturally we will be disturbed only throughout our life. But for a seeker, it is very essential to know, with the sharp intelligence, clear intelligence, transparent intelligence, brilliant intelligence, when and what is making our mind desireful, whether it is necessary, whether it is indispensable, or what. So, viveka is very much essential. And the Shastras are saying that the effect of Rajoguna and Tamoguna, they bring about bondage in the mind. They not only bring about the bondage, they bind the mind in such a manner as if the mind is chained up, like we chained animals. With a chain, we tie the animal, and the animal is not able to move about. So, unless we are very attentive to see how the Rajoguna or Tamoguna, they are affecting our mind, what are they doing, we will be bound by them. And liberation will be when the mind is able to go beyond this rajas and tamas. Tan manashodhanam karyam prayatnena mumukshuna vishuddhe sati chaitasmin mukti karaphalayate. In Viveka Chudamani, Shankaracharya is saying that therefore tat mana shodhanam karyam. Therefore, the seeker after liberation definitely carefully purify the mind. Mana shodhanam karyam. My dear children, I think that many seekers, those who like this path, who like to read the Shastras, they do not give emphasis on this. Manas shodhanam karyam. The mind has to be purified. And for that, one has to understand how it has become impure. Where is the impurity? That also one must be able to understand with attention, sincerity, and yearning to understand. So, manashodhanam is absolutely necessary. Tan manashodhanam karyam prayatnena mumukshuna. Mumukshu, who are mumukshus? Those who are seekers of truth. They are called mumukshu. They are seeking mukti. Mukti michha mumuksha. So they are seekers of mukti, liberation. So by the seekers of truth who want liberation, by them, manas shodhanam karyam prayatnena. Mind should be purified with effort. Prayatnena. Effort. See, body we can purify. When we are sweating, or when we have done some work with dust and all that, we feel very dirty, we can purify our body by pouring water. But what about the mind? Yudhishthira was told by Narada, na varina shuddhyate chantaratma. Oh, Yudhishthira, you can purify your body by taking a bath. But na varina shuddhyate chantaratma. The antaratma, the mind, will not become purified by pouring water on your body. For that, what you have to do? You have to take a dip in the Atma Nadi, in yourself. Go inside and understand what is this Atma, which is ever pure. Then how is the mind becoming impure? So, tan manashodhanam karyam prayatnena mumukshuna vishuddhe sati chaitasmin mukti karaphalayate. And when the mind becomes purified, vishuddha, then muktihi karaphalayate. The liberation will be easily had. It gives an example, like suppose there is a fruit, there is a what is called gooseberry, amla. In Hindi we call amla, and nellika in Malayalam. So this amla, gooseberry, is very small. We can take it in our fist and take it. So there is no chance of that gooseberry getting lost from our fist, because it has been completely kept inside the fist. So karaphalayate. So muktihi, if you are very, very sincere and you have made sincere effort and you have purified your mind, then when the mind becomes pure, muktihi karaphalayate. The liberation will be like a fruit in the palm of your hand. So now, then what did you see? Rajo doshairyuktam yadi bhavati vikshepaka gunaihi pratipaihi kamadyair anisham abhibhutam vyathayati kathanchit sukshmartha avagatimati kathanchit sukshmartha avagatimad apibhramyati bhrisham manodipo yadvat prabalamaruta dhvasta mahima. So Shankaracharya in Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sara Sangra is again explaining it, and he is giving an example that suppose there is a lamp, it has a very good flame and there is no wind or nothing, the flame is just very beautifully, the flame is lit, it is burning. If there is no wind anywhere, have you seen, have you noticed? The flame is so steady, and it just is without any movement and brilliant. So that kind of a lamp is there. Suppose a strong wind comes, and the wind is coming in various ways, from various sides, in various manner, with various speed, then what will happen? Constantly the flame will be flickering, shivering. So flame will not be having that brilliance as it was having. It will constantly moving from one side to another. Sometimes it will look as though it is going to be put off. Sometimes it will burn a little more, but it is not steady. So the majesty of the flame, which was there when there was no wind, that is, no disturbance was there, the majesty was great. But once the wind comes, the majesty simply goes. Dhvasta mahima. This word he has used is dhvasta mahima. Mano deepo yadvat pravala maruta dhvasta mahima. Similarly, what happens is that the mind, when it gets associated with Rajo Guna, then Because of the Rajoguna, the effect of Rajoguna, and the mind becoming overwhelmed by Rajoguna, all kinds of desires come in. And it makes the mind disturbed, agitated. Just like that lamp which was burning very well, brilliantly, simply loses its majesty by the strong wind. The mind also, which can be pure, is pure, without any desire or distraction, becomes agitated and loses its mahima. So this is what happens in the mind. So Rajo Guna. So mind, we'll come to that. Tato mumukshur bhavabandha mukyai rajastamo bhyam cha tadiya karyaihi viyojya chittam parishuddha sattvam priyam prayatnena sadaiva kuryat. Tato mumukshur bhavabandha mukyai rajastamo bhyam cha tadiya karyaihi viyojya chittam parishuddha sattvam priyam prayatnena sadaiva kuryat. Therefore, tataha mumukshuhu bhava bandha muktiyai. So, for the seeker of truth, or the seeker of liberation, one who wants to be liberated from this bondage of worldliness. What is worldliness? I know you know. All that the world brings about and gives us disturbances, sufferings. Sometimes it gives sukha, no doubt, some kind of happiness. But mostly sukha will also be associated with lot of tension and anxiety. Suppose this state where I am feeling so happy goes off. It will go off, no doubt. No sukha stays forever. No dukkha also stays forever. So, all this sukha and dukkha, happiness and unhappiness in our life, just comes and goes. We cannot hold on to our sukha states. Suppose everything is very good in our family. Everybody is healthy. The earnings are quite good. We are in luxury. We are comfort. There is no disease. So it's very, children are doing very well in their studies, or they are very well placed, very well married. Everything is good. But there will be anxiety. Suppose some disease comes to somebody. Suppose somebody suddenly dies. Suppose somebody loses the job. Suppose the marriage which we are thinking of doesn't work out. So all the sukhas that we have, definitely it is associated with some anxiety, and the sukha goes. It disappears. Dukkha comes in. So, bhava bandha, this is called the bondage of worldliness. Because, see, what is this worldliness? Worldliness is full of raga and dvesha. As I explained a little while before, that we like whatever we like, we want to have. And whatever we do not like, we desire not to face it. So desire is of two kinds. One desire is whatever we are liking, we want to have them. That is a desire. And we desire that whatever we do not like, I should not face it. That is also a desire. So this is the worldliness. Always our mind is full of raga and dvesha, likes and dislikes, likes and dislikes. If you have not thought about it, our viveka buddhi should be sharp to make us think about this. That life is like this. So it says, Tato mumukshuhu bhava bandha muktyayi. This worldliness is giving us actually constant suffering, affliction. So, those who have the grace of God or grace of the Guru, they feel that can there be a free state where I will not be afflicted by any of these, neither the sukha, nor the dukkha, nor the likes, nor the dislikes. Everything will come, situations will come, but I'll be able to remain poised and steady. Some blessed people, by the blessing of the Supreme, they start feeling like this. So they feel that I have to be liberated from this. I want to live freely, free in the mind. Situations will come. Because it is the nature of life. Situations, good and bad, favorable, unfavorable, will still come. But I want to be liberated. I don't want to be afflicted. And what is? Unaffectedness is liberation, mind you. My dear children, unaffectedness is liberation. We say that we are bound, we say that we are afflicted, we say that we are feeling very bad or very unhappy because we get affected. And a seeker, he will feel that let all these things be there, but I want to remain unaffected. So, bhava bandha muktyai, what that mumukshu should do? Rajastamobhyam cha tadiya karyaihi viyojya. Chittam viyojya. That is, he should take away the mind from the karya, that is from the effects of the actions of Rajoguna and Tamoguna. The disturbances which are being created by the nature, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, always there will be a proportion, a mixture of all these. Out of that, Rajoguna and Tamoguna, they bring about disturbances. And if we want to be liberated from these disturbances, we have to isolate our mind from the effects of this Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Now, Viyojya Chittam, Parishuddha Sattvam. Now, you isolate the mind. So that is, we are trying with our effort to lessen the effects of Rajoguna and Tamoguna. And what we should do? Parishuddha Tattvam, Priyam Kuryat, Sadaiva Prayatnena. So, what he should do? He should isolate the mind from the effects of Rajoguna and Tamoguna and make effort always. Sadaiva Prayatnena. Sadaiva means always. Sadaiva, always. Prayatnena, with effort. Parishuddha Sattvam Priyam Kuryat. This Sattva Guna, Parishuddha Sattvam, which is pure Sattva, try to enhance that Sattva Guna in your life. So then question comes, what are these? What is Sattva Guna? Which is Rajoguna? What is Tamo Guna? How are they coming in our day-to-day life, even in the seeker's life? I think all of you are pursuing this path, and you will be able to explain this Sattva, Rajas and Tamas very well. But what we have to do is, we have to understand how, even in a seeker's life, this Rajoguna and Tamoguna come, which we have to remove, and we have to take to Sattva Guna. I am not talking about ordinary people. We are talking only of the seekers. Those who want to get liberated or let aside liberation. Those who want to pursue this path and progress in this path. And experience the bliss of liberation. Drop by drop, drop by drop. Through every action, through every thought, through every speech, every interaction. Liberation should come in. So, in Bhagavad Gita again, we have done this, but it will be nice to again go through this. You know, it is always better that we repeat, we forget. This world is such that even though you are reading, you have understood, The world, as soon as we get up in the morning, the world from all sides just surround us and we forget. And they try to overpower us. Because the nature of the mind is not to remain quiet. And Arjuna has asked Krishna that my mind is very chanchala. It's very, very difficult to make it peaceful and restful. So what did Krishna say? He said that abhyasa and vairagya you must take to. That is, constant, repeated pursuit. You have to constantly repeat the pursuit. And vairagya. What is the vairagya? Understand that the short-lived pleasures will not give you permanent happiness. And also, the sense organs, wherever they are taking your mind and making the mind, like small children, they will go here, there, jump. Everything gives them pleasure. The mind should not be like this. Mind should be restrained by the buddhi, viveka buddhi, that if you spend your time going here, going there, you will not be able to go and steadily progress in this path of spirituality. So you have to constantly give this discrimination to the mind. So abhyasa is very... See, even just now we did some slokas now. In two slokas, prayatna word has come. Where is that prayatna? In Viveka Chudamani. Tan manashodhanam karyam prayatnena manukshuna. Prayatnena. Yatna means effort. Prayatna means sincere effort. Wholesome effort. Not half-hearted effort. Today you do and another 1 month or 2 months you don't even think about it. Sincere effort. What is sincere effort? Whatever you do, you try to see whether you are having this aim in mind, that you are purifying your mind. And then again this sloka, Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sara Sangraha, 362, see? Vyojya chittam parishuddha sattvam priyam prayatnena sadaiva kuryat. The two different shastras using the same word, prayatna. Write this word in your heart, prayatna. There should be sincere effort, wholesome effort, loving effort. You should not be under pressure. You should lovingly do it. So actually human mind is like this. Whatever we like, whatever we want to achieve, we make loving effort for that. So that loving effort should come here also. You should love to do this. What? Love to do what? Purify the mind. Tan manashodhanam karyam. Tan manashodhanam karyam. And who has said this? Our Shastras. And here this is from Viveka Chudamani, Shankaracharya has written. Manashodhanam karyam. What is this manashodhanam? We have to understand what is making the mind impure. Impure means disturbed, unhappy, grumbling. Not feeling contented. You should be feeling contented by whatever is there, be contented. Why constantly more? Other day somebody was telling me, these days everybody has everything. You cannot, even if youngsters who are young professionals, everything they have. But the cry is new models. I've got a phone, I must get the new model. I've got a car, I must get the new car. So this newer and newer things, that is disturbing. So this is the action of Rajo Guna. So what did this sloka say? That the effects and the influence of Rajo Guna and Tamo Guna, you have to find out. How? Using Viveka Buddhi. How? With prayatna, sincere effort. That is, you do your work from morning. Maybe there are some people who are housewives. So from morning they are looking after the household. whatever is their area of action, activity, or another may be going out in the profession, children may be going for study, whatever be the field of activity, whosoever it is, through those activities try to find out what is making the mind impure. And how will you make it? How will you see it? By sincere, loving effort. That is, we don't forget about it. We remember that whatever I am doing, have I done it by my activity, by my thought? Has my mind become purer, better, or has it become impure? Has my mind become noble, or has it become ignoble? Simple things, When we see somebody, a neighbor, maybe the neighbor's son doing very well, we should have pure appreciation, pure praise for that. If there is a little bit of feeling that, oh, my son could not do this, that is the impurity. And I think human mind is like that. Not being able to praise fully. There will be little jealousy, little feeling of loss, sense of loss. So these have to be prayatnena found out. Nothing he is asking. Our gurus, our teachers are asking nothing from us. They are only asking from us attention. Look properly inside your mind and see, is the mind becoming pure, transparent by your thoughts, by your actions, by your speech, by your ideas, by your tendencies? Is the mind becoming pure? Or a little bit of impurity is coming in? Just have some effort, lovingly remove that dirt. Remove that dirt. That's all. Nothing else. They are neither asking money from us, nor they are asking us to be with them. Nothing they are asking. Just your thought, your mind, your attention, and your going within yourself. So, now it says that Rajas tamobhyam tadiya karyaihi. Rajas tamobhyam cha tadiya karyaihi. Now the question is that this Rajoguna and Tamoguna, they have been marked and labeled as the culprits. What are they? They are the culprits. What are they doing to our mind? Bringing in afflictions, agitations, disturbances. So we must understand what kind of disturbance they are bringing about. So what is this Rajoguna? Actually Rajoguna is good. All the people, we are all active. Unless there is Rajoguna, we won't be active. But this Rajoguna also, it should be restrained. Let it do good work. Doesn't matter. Whatever is necessary, let it do. But it has a tendency to bring about these things. What? Lobha pravrittirarambha karmanam ashamaspriha rajasyetani jayante vivriddhe bharatarshabha. This is from Bhagavad Gita. This is 14th chapter, 12th verse. So it is saying, what does this Rajoguna do to us? It brings about lobha, greed. See, we need certain things in life to live properly. Everybody would like to live properly, comfortably. But we are not satisfied. And this Rajoguna has the tendency to bring about greed in us. That is, acquiring more and more. Whatever is necessary for us, maybe we want to save a little money also, that do. But we want more and more, more and more, more and more. Never we can stop. We do not know where to put a line. So, lobha, pravritti. This Rajoguna makes us get into action. So we start activity. Now, it is extrovert drive, desire for constant activities. It would not allow us to remain quiet. One work is over immediately, or just before that we will be thinking some more work is there. Constantly thinking about work. And any kind of activity without raga and dvesha is okay. But we get into raga and dvesha. Suppose we are able to act without raga and dvesha, without clinging to something or without hating something. If we cling, there is a disturbance in the mind. If we hate something, there is a disturbance in the mind. If you are able to restrain the mind and go beyond that raga and dvesha, that is okay. That pravritti is okay. That is that activity drive is okay. But the activity then when we start doing, clinging for luxury, comfort, more and more amassing of wealth, that are for personal gain, those are binding. So we have to see, this is what Rajoguna's nature is. Lobha, pravrittihi, arambha, karmanam. That is karmanam arambha. That unceasing involvement in actions. As I said, that one work is over, you can take rest, maybe you can now give more time to spiritual pursuits, but you will be being overpowered by this Rajoguna and made to take up other assignments for desiring more wealth, sometimes desiring what? Name, fame, etc., praise, etc. That is, people start doing one work after another, one activity of another, desiring name, fame, wealth, praise, all these things. And actions with aim of enjoyment and acquisition, that should be avoided. Rajoguna brings about that. Constantly it is driving us to take up activities for enjoying the life with what? With various items of luxury and comfort, which are perishable, which are short-lived, but it is allowing us to go behind them. So, this action with aim of enjoyment, one is enjoyment, another is acquisition, or for personal gain. So, with Rajoguna, all these things take a very huge nature in us, unless we are careful. You will find some people are like that. They will not be able to sit quietly, even if they come near a Mahatma or in an ashram, they are not able to enjoy the bliss of the association of a spiritual person or maybe a very quiet place. They are not able to do. So, activities which are aimed only for God realization, Paramatma Prapti, those activities are good. But whenever it is for self-gain, or for acquisition, or for enjoyment, all those, or for name, fame, etc., those are arambha. That is, we start taking up newer and newer things and just spend our time doing that instead of looking into ourselves, trying to find out what will make our mind have that placidity which we do not have with activity. Ashamaha, spriha. Then when we have restlessness of the mind, when the desires are not fulfilled, and we have unabated desire. See, we must have food for hunger. We must have water to drink when we are thirsty. We must have clothes to wear. But if spriha is what? We must have this, yes. But the mind becomes disturbed when we think that we should have but why are we not getting it? Or these are the things we should have, but why are we not getting it in a sufficient quantity? That becomes the spriha, that becomes the desire which actually makes us feel very agitated. Do you get it? It is true that certain things we need in life to live properly. But we should not be feeling disturbed if something is not there in our life. So, only these things, this Rajoguna, so lobha pravrittir arambha karmanam ashamaspriha rajas yetani jayante vibridhe bharatarshava. So Krishna is telling Arjuna that, oh Arjuna, these are the effects of Rajoguna. And you use your viveka. The viveka buddhi should be used and think that I am quite all right. Why do I want more and more? That is, there we are using our Sattva Guna and subduing our Rajas. Rajas is constantly telling more, more, more. Let us do this, let us go there. But when we start using the Viveka Buddhi and start telling the mind, I am quite comfortable, I have got enough, I do not want more. Why do I want more? That time I will spend in something else, either good for the society, good for myself, good for my own spiritual growth. That is where the Viveka comes in. Now, what about the tamas? Rajas tamobhyam cha tadiya karyehi. So, tamoguna also, it disturbs the mind. It does not allow the mind to have sattva guna. When rajoguna is too much, sattva guna gets subdued. We'll see what is sattva guna, why we are saying. I think we have done it earlier also. And these are not to be just listened to. My dear children, these are to be constantly thought about. Manana. That when we do something, we are all active. None of us wants to sit just like that. We are all active doing something or other. But we do get some time to think and sit and think. At that time you should think, was I driven by Rajoguna? Or was it Sattva Guna? Or did I spend my day being under the power of Tamo Guna? What is Tamo Guna? Aprakasho apravittischa pramado moha evacha tamas yetani jayante vivriddhe kurunandana. This is 14.13 of Bhagavad Gita. Aprakashaha, lack of brilliance. One will be very dull. No purity of mind, no sharpness of buddhi. In the senses, mind, intelligence, very dull. Apravrittihi, just like there was pravrittihi, Rajoguna is constantly make you do activity. Here, you don't feel like doing anything at all. So sleep. Just sit somewhere, waste your time, while away time. So inertia or apathy towards activity. Rajoguna is here. When apravritti comes, tamoguna overpowers rajoguna. So pravritti is rajoguna's nature. Tamoguna overshadows the rajoguna. So there is no aspiration, no enthusiasm, all will be lost. Only one would like to either lie somewhere or sit somewhere doing nothing. Whatever is indispensable even, one will not want to do it. No enthusiasm. Such people are there. So, then comes pramadaha, inattention, not doing what is necessary and doing what is unnecessary, doing activities which are not good for the body, not good for the family, not good for the mind or intelligence, not good for the society, that is doing bad things, which is not good for anybody. Taking to bad habits and all that. Not looking after the body, then you get disease. So, then comes moha, avivekaha arises. it clouds all buddhi. The buddhi will be absolutely clouded. No brilliance or no sharpness of buddhi. You will not be able to decide anything, not be able to understand what is good for you, what is not good for you. So these three gunas actually, then we'll come to sattva. These gunas are actually, they are understood by their lakshanas. When we see any of these, say whatever we read about the rajas, if you see any of these, that is why it is said prayatnena. We have to have a lot of attention to look into your mind. And if you find any of them, you will understand that, oh, rajas is becoming more in me. So maybe I have to slow down a little, understand what is good for me. And, oh, I'm wasting my time, more of sleep, not doing anything which is useful. All these things you have to find out. So the lakshanas, by lakshanas, you can understand what are the prominent ones, predominant ones, whether the rajas is predominant, whether the tamas is predominant, we understand by the lakshanas. Now what is Sattva Guna? Why all these shastras are saying take to Sattva Guna? Definitely we have understood that by Rajo Guna's predominance or Tamo Guna's predominance, the mind is not going to be either pure or placid or restful or calm. It is not going to be. And it says take to Sattva Guna. So what are the gunas of Sattva? What is the Sattva Guna? Tatra Sattvam Nirmalatvat Prakashakamanayam. Sattva Guna, by dint of its immaculate nature, is the cause of light, knowledge, and harmony. Sattva Guna brings about a harmony, brings about that purity in one's being, and allows it to understand things. The knowledge comes. Then it says, Sarvadvareshu dehesmin prakasha upajayate. This is, the first one is 14.6, now this one 14.11. Sarvadvareshu dehesmin prakasha upajayate jnanam yada tada vidyat vivriddham sattvam ityuta. Sarvadvare, asmin dehe, in this body, sarvadvareshu, in all the sense organs and mind and intelligence, prakasha upajayate, also jnanam. So nirmalata, what is prakasha? Purity, brilliance, and jnana, that is knowledge, it comes. And when that happens, when you find that, oh, these days I am quite peaceful. Maybe you are not always peaceful, but sometimes peaceful. Peacefulness is increasing. When the situations are such which generally used to cause disturbance, they are not disturbing you so much. Even if you become disturbed, you find that very soon your peace is again re-established. These are signs of sattva having cultivated, or Sattva Guna becoming predominant now. And Rajo Guna and Tamo Guna are at their lowest. So, when you find that you are able to understand better, whatever you are hearing, you are able to retain them better, then all that will tell you that Sattva Guna has increased. And a seeker must strive consistently to elevate himself to generate an abundance of Sattva Guna. Prayatnena. That prayatna should be there. And that prayatna, I am not only saying that it should be an effort, it should be a loving effort. You should love to do it. Why? Because you are gaining something good. Just like in the worldly matters, in world, what do people work for? People have to study, you have to put a lot of effort to study, then one will get a job. In the job you have to work very well so that you get promoted. Then you go higher and higher in your job. How do you go? Because you have worked very well. Sincerity. There will be lot of values the nature, how you have worked, all that will take you to a higher and higher post. Means higher and higher earning, salary, name, fame, etc. So if you love that, definitely you are making effort for that. Whatever we love, we make effort. So if we love Sattva Guna, and why should we love Sattva Guna? Because we are a seeker. Because we want to be placid in our mind, to be able to understand the self, and to be constantly poised and steady in the face of all disturbances. So, since we love that Sattva Guna, which gives us peace of mind, contentment in life, we must cultivate that Sattva Guna. And so we should elevate ourselves to have abundance in Sattva Guna. When Sattva Guna increases, the senses and the mind, they have purity and transparency. Viveka arises. This discrimination of buddhi takes place. Because the mind becomes pure, the intelligence becomes pure, they become brilliant, clarity dawns, viveka dawns, discrimination and introspection dawn. That is, we are able to understand very clearly what is happening, why the mind is behaving like this, why the mind has thought like this, why the mind become a little jealous, why the mind become a little intolerant, why the mind is not contented in spite of having many things. That clarity comes. Only when we are clear about what is our disturbance, we can remove the disturbance. So what happens is, suppose you have lost something. Maybe from your hand, your money bag has fallen. Where has it fallen? You came in a dark road, somewhere it has fallen. So what will you do? You will take a torch and go on that road, walk and put the light to see where is your wallet. And when the light falls on the dropped wallet, you pick it up. It's like that. With Sattva Guna, the intelligence, mind, etc. become brilliant. They become light, knowledge. So they are able to pick up all the disturbances, all the impurities of the mind. By their own light, they are able to find them out. Which, unless the Sattva Guna increases, that light doesn't fall on them. The impurities remain and we are not able to detect them. So when the Viveka arises, one understands the ephemeral nature of the world. What happens? Oh, I have been running after things which are perishable, which will not give me any happiness. I am running after them. All my time is spent there. So I will try to find some time for the permanent thing which will give me happiness and contentment. What is that? It may be Sattva Guna, it may be looking into one's own mind, finding understanding the Atma, reading the Shastras, anything. So ephemeral nature of world is understood, that this from this transitory world, perishable world, we are not going to get any imperishable contentment or happiness, we understand. Dispassion grows in the mind. So when that feeling comes, that understanding comes, that the world is transitory, ephemeral, momentary, it is perishable, dispassion comes for that. What are we going after? All these things will not give me anything permanent. So dispassion for many things which you thought you held high in your mind, that I must have these. You understand that these are not going to give me happiness forever. Not only that, it is giving me a lot of bondage, trying to hold on to those things which I know I will not be able to hold on to, in which I know that it will go from me. My family, my wealth, my property, my health, my name, my fame, my prestige, my position, my qualification, nothing will remain. Who will come? When somebody is in a very high post, all people around will be showing lot of respect. And when he has retired, and many years have passed after his retirement, if you go to the same office, nobody will see you. They don't even know you at that time. So, at the time when we feel that, oh, I am such and such person, I've got this qualification, I'm the head of the institution, or I'm having this post, we are holding on to them, not understanding that there is no value. But it doesn't mean that you should not strive for those posts or you should not do well in your life. You should. The clinging should not be there. So dispassion comes means the clinging falls off. Clinging falls off. Dispassion doesn't mean that you go to the forest. The clinging drops. The possessiveness drops. So naturally, peacefulness dawns. When all these things happen, no, peacefulness comes. Because till that time we are only more, acquire. And we have in our mind an idea, if I achieve these things in my life, I'll be happy. All that goes. Peacefulness comes. The actual peacefulness comes. And actions are done without desire and clinging. Newer activities are not taken up for enjoyment and acquisition of wealth. So we will be taking up activities, but not like that before. When driven by rajas, we used to take newer and newer activities that people will say that, oh, he's very efficient, he can do this, so call him. So you will feel that you are having a lot of praise, or you acquire wealth. So those things will fall off. Mind will not seek newer and newer enjoyments and comforts. And mind will become contented with whatever is really necessary for the living. Whatever is really necessary. It will start thinking that I've got enough. So why do I need more? Intelligence will become sharp to understand subtle matters. Ability to do every work, mind this, ability to do every work with alertness and perfection will increase. There will be less mistake in the work. And even if there is mistake, what will happen? Our alertness will allow us to find out the mistake and correct it. All this because Viveka has arisen. Viveka has become clear. The buddhi has become clear. So, a seeker will progress fast in sadhana. And a seeker will definitely want that, to progress fast in sadhana. So that is why the Sattva Guna has to be developed. And so next day we will see what further it says, what Shankaracharya has told us to do. I don't think that it will be very difficult, but it will be something as we constantly, ceaselessly, we want some activities. We do not want to sit just without any work, but we forget that that work doesn't give us any permanent solution to the placidity of the mind which is necessary. We have to then engage ourselves to bring about enhancement in Sattva Guna by some disciplines which our Shastras have said. So we will do that. Sampurnam Jagadeva Nandanavanam Sarvepi Kalpadrumaha Gangam Vari Samasta Vari Nivaha Punyas Samasta Kriyaha Vacha Prakrita Samskrita Shruti Shiro Varanasi Medini Sarvavasthitirasya Vastu Vishaya Drishti Parabrahmani Sarvavasthitirasya Vastu Vishaya Drishti Parabrahmani. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru.